First, Rinpoche would like to say good afternoon to Dharma brothers and sisters who are here this afternoon. Today, Rinpoche says I was asked to give a teaching on Heart Sutra here, and the KSDL temple arranged this teaching here for this afternoon, and I told them that no needed because you have your resident teacher here, but they insisted me to do it, so therefore I'm going to say to try to teach on the Heart Sutra here. And he says some more things about me, but no need to translate.
Today, my little Tadi, and the language shooting the government, simply and the Zogus and the command Saku, teach it that which Chinese Yamzona, simply can be a painter, simply can the Sunday to Saku, simply can the don't the Dawes and the command of us, some of the Sunday, and then that's some of the
Rinpoche also says that today I have to teach here, and also I have to use me as a translator, and he's not uncomfortable, and he said that there's not much different in terms of practice, in terms of knowledge and everything. You don't need any other teacher better than him. That's what just he said, and I don't believe that. But anyways, so I asked. So today we are going to do this teaching on Heart Sutra, and before we do the actual teaching, it is very important for all of us to have genuine motivation, which means giving rise to supreme motivation of a bodhicitta. So this is mandatory for every practitioner, so particularly for Mahayana practice, because we say that Mahayana practices, Mahayana lineage is the great vehicle that is to achieve enlightenment. So what it really makes it great or precious is that is the motivation of bodhicitta, which means that whatever I'm going to do based on whatever action you do, if it's based on genuine motivation of bodhicitta, which means that concerning all sentient beings, then whatever action we do, either it's mentally, physically, emotionally, all becomes a practice, path of liberation. So therefore, as a Mahayana practitioners, it is extremely important to give rise to supreme motivation of the bodhicitta. So the topic of the teaching here is, as you know, it's a Heart Sutra, perfectional wisdom, and also we call it Sutra of profound. So this is the most extensive and profound teaching of the sutras. So the name here is perfectional wisdom, essence of perfectional wisdom. So when we look at this title, the first word is wisdom, and also the second word is perfectional, and third word is essence. So every of these words have a meaning, profound, very extensive meaning to understand. So therefore he's going to explain the meaning of the title first. So the first word is wisdom, and it's in Tibetan, shi rab. There's two syllables. Shi has one meaning and rab has another meaning. So shi actually means consciousness or essence of consciousness, that is clarity or vivid, luminous aspect of the consciousness is the shi.
Dona shirab sayende ando de lo samde na bode ji.
So when we say wisdom, and basically we have to understand the consciousness or the mind.
Dela ane samde la ko nature ji ga shiba de ke koran ke nature ji ga ya ne shiba de ke ne lo mai ba ke ne je truba ki ne je shiba ta de shiba na ba ni.
So these consciousness actually have two different levels or two different categories. One actually, one that is the essence or the reality of the consciousness, and then the another part is appearances part of the consciousness, that is a confusional stage of the consciousness.
Then the shiba de ke ne lo de yi na ta kan ne se na su ko nam yuen de anje sen de ran yi ru sa wa se ne nyu mu ba da anje je ba da dong ha la so ba ke tro ba ke no gu ba ji tin ji ki ne de la ne ji sen de ran yi ru sa wa se ne da na yi ki nam yuen na so ki da ne sen ji mo ji ji bi xie de yo gong dia de sen ji mo da ben 사제 침몰에 조과 침몰에 네 선전내로 사무통반이 되세야 나오다 나는 이기 네 운동라 소바가 나네 네 대신 힘보 세대야 네 선 심지난 산제니 운영로 월점에도 선전장 이데 산제의 힘보지리 남제지 시에네 요데 진디지 이마이는 담보 선중 오고데 고랑하니 아빠인 바다 근데 이제 산지의 연대되다 단계는 아니지 그런지 좀 돼봐 대금 모두 동하다 출바다 저바다 조르대 받지 근데 이게 뭐지 하고 거예요 이제 내가 아주 선 내로 선거 아니지 말이야 남주대라는 이제 선전내로 사무통반이 세시에 돼야 돼 이제 말이야.
So the nature of the mind is free from suffering and free from delusion, free from defilement and suffering, and free from every aspect of faults and mistaken and obscuration. So that is actually the nature of our mind or consciousness. And also we use a different terminologies to explain these the nature, essence of the mind, or the Buddha nature, or profound emptiness, or so we have many different names for this nature. But what really it means is the real essence that is free of all these limitations, obscurations, defilement, mistaken, which is the most clarity, luminosity, perfectional aspect of our mind. This is the nature. So this nature, the perfectional nature of the mind, is pervades to all the sentient beings, from the ordinary sentient being to enlightened being, from ordinary sentient being to enlightened beings, to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So everyone in this existence have this limitless or clarity essence of the mind. There's no different, regardless of the race, gender, language that you speak, place where you live, place where you come from, regardless of all these discriminations, every one of us have this Buddha nature.
semjanelo tam tam demba
So this is we call the nature of mind, and also we call this is ultimate truth. So here what we have to understand is that the nature of mind that pervades to all sentient beings, from the tiniest worm or mosquito to enlightened Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And we have to understand that that nature has no limit. We have to understand that that nature is emptiness and most profound and extensive. It is free from every conditions, free from every of non-favorable things. So although we recognize the nature of mind or not, we always have that nature, the nature that we have, the nature that Buddha have. There's no different, absolutely same. But on the other hand, we have another aspect of our consciousness or our mind that is a confusional stage, which means the understandings or thought that arise from the lack of wisdom to see the nature. This is how we end up with all these negative emotions such as anger, pride, jealousy, and attachment. So Buddha said that every sentient beings have this Buddha nature, yet it covered by the ignorance of not knowing self is less, not understanding the selflessness of self and selflessness of the phenomena. So these ignorance covering the true nature. So therefore we are wandering in this samsara by not knowing the how precious nature we have.
Not good heart is someone but they carry the song was announced. Okay, the judge said that the Maja Tadola Super, the nigger send you the Batik. The down sent the Zani gun and my but the San Jet. And this same never child of it, Maripa and Chadam was about the this is sent the Mohammed and Nanzo, sent the Mabra and 이제 내가 제단 또 몰라서도 아무도 됐으면 맞겠어. 근데 양 선대가 양 장보고 있는 게 요되지. 나다 공도 시반나기 선제 장지대 아니 균이 대신인 뭐네 산지지 뭐 인데가 제단. 근데 안 속에 양제 선제 장지 사모동 많이 인데가 제 근데 이제 선대가 선장다. 아니 제 선다. 근데 선는 봐. 선장부 어떻게 이제 요되가 이 말이야.
So the mind that we just described, actually you can categorize into three different parts: the good part of the mind, the bad part of the mind, and neutral. So of course the good part of the mind is that we just describe as the nature of mind, how precious it is, and how clarity, luminosity, and so on. And then other part, the bad part of our mind, is the confusional, and not knowing the true nature of our mind, or these negative emotions arises. So this brings into attachment and aversion, and all this aggression, afflictive emotions arises. So these parts are the imperfect or the not good part of our mind.
선리야 zambo데는 남주인 안도 선 zam보세미야데 이제 선 장모당 그리지 물이 삼바당 제와여바당 이제 메진의 선벌시 시바당 이 밀은 조바가 세미오데바당 이제 야랍 삼바 zam보가 딘디데소라 삼바 때단은 삼바야고 삼바 zam보 선 개와지는 진입시해요.
So also the good aspect of mind is our mind is carried by compassion, loving kindness, and caring, and all those good aspect of mind arises. This is we call the positive part of the mind. So sometimes we have a devotion to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and also we have a compassion to the lower beings, and also we are accepting karmic cause and effect. So those parts are considered as the good aspect of the mind.
What is it? Then the Jedi Shiba said that Tananzo in number some year about the half of the world. Didn't the rent you get the rap say, Sakachia, she raps in the love of the world. They did not send the send little Georgi and the Gonda rap the Jabas and the Yatilishi and the Nibishi, that Shiba did rap the Jabaki Shiba. Jedans Shiba della Tada Sam Zambo della Nanzo, which is Mila, Mi Jambo Seya, and Mi Demba Seya, and it's Mila Samse Yobatan, Malazuzi Yobatan, I think the Nika Nanzo, and doing the Samba Zambo here, but the Samba Gawari, Samba Zambo, Shiba. Yena Yantati, Gondo Jabatan, Rap Seya, Chodo Jabati, Boy, Lord in Circle. Also, forget who could send us a pay away. Shiba's and this some Zambo's situation. That take on the Rabbi Jobas in Shiba Rabbi Jobas, Shiba's in that take a lady. That didn't dinner, my son Jabaki, and this sender and Chutangi, Nero Samotomani. What a tailor and Shirabs in the new boy. And Shirabs, that rap there, so this is basically a general explanation of the Shi, which is the first syllable of wisdom. Out of Shi and Rap, the explanation of Shi is the general explanation of the consciousness or mind that has three different parts. So then the next syllable, Rap, and also have another meaning. When we describe our consciousness into
three different parts. When we talk about the good part of our mind, such as having sympathy, understanding, and truthful, loyalty, and all those things are usually the good aspect of mind. But the rab actually means something much more profound than this. So the shi in the rab actually is explaining what is included in this Heart Sutra. So what is the shirab? Rab is the it is perfection. Rab means perfection. So it's much beyond just the good aspect of mind that we describe.
그러면 이제 실업세 이제 추단계 안에 추단계는 덴벌마도 봐. 아니 추단계 근데 사모동반이 또와기 로다. 어제 진리동이 되라. 근데 실업세는 되는 소리인데.
So the reason why it says shirab, the perfectional wisdom, it's because it is talking about emptiness. An emptiness that realize or that understand the true nature of the reality, which is not exist, interdependent, and an emptiness and so on. So to understanding this, the nature of all the phenomena is the shirab.
네, 다 바로도 생각해야 돼. 다 가능해 소리 열으시나. 다 된지 추탐지기 아니 저 라지 아니 저 추탐지 뚱이도 또나. 나 가리요 있으나 어떻게 바로도 생겨요 있어 다 바로도 생기서 가리도 소리 있으나 나도 걸어와래 탈나 이제 탈바 산지에서 사 바로래 아니 딱 삼목동 반이때 또 덤는 안 주고 또 똑바이 바이나 걸어와 바로 산지에서 사는 노래 바로도 심바서 들을 수 있는.
So the next word is paro de chimba. And it literally means reach beyond. So what here saying is if you know the nature of a phenomena, nature of reality, emptiness and interdependent, all those, the nature of existence, once we know these, then we reach beyond of samsaric existence.
그러면 이제 바로도 생각해야 되라. 안도 너무 산재받아. 근데 홀로 바로도 생각. 그때당 이제 탈바토가 됐잖아요. 그냥 바로도 생각했어. 근데 야 탈바 대래 시원양이는 데봐. 뒤 바로도 생각. 시방 감성 걸어 대다. 근데 이제 시원양이는 데봐. 니랑기 이제 근데 단냐네 근데 시와 소지가 같다. 어째 디시게 니레 파르던 내바데다 가리다 보고 이런신 시게 단니는 내바 이제 산제지 공화 타바 전부 세요 어떻게 파르도 심바세 되고 이거 말에.
So here when we say reach beyond, we have to understand reach beyond of two extremes or two stages. So there's first one and second one. First one is usually we call a tapa, meaning liberation, liberate from the lower realms. So the second level is achieve nirvana. So and here we are talking about enlightenment that is beyond both nirvana and liberation.
그게 이메일이다. 네 시라지 파르도 심바송이다. 네 시럽세야 되다. 사모동만이 또 받으러 오래. 보고는 봐. 근데 뒤 아니 이제 파르도 심바시는 시방 감동 프로와다 시원형 있는데 봐. 뒤 파르 아니 산지 이제 보면은 심바세가 이제 그때 운동하시는 그때 다 손으로 되는 소리가 들려요.
So here, professional wisdom reach beyond means that understanding emptiness properly, reach beyond these both extremes, which is state of Buddhahood. So we are in samsara. Right now we are in samsara. So what is the main cause to be born in samsara? Is the clinging to self and clinging to existence. So this is actually the root of the samsara. Because of these two clingings, and we have hopes and fears, attachment and aversion arises. So when these kind of negative emotion arises, we create karmic cause and conditions. So sometimes we create negative karma, karmic cause and condition. So that reduce, we born in lower realms. Sometimes even out of these two clingings, we do create positive actions, positive karmic cause and conditions that will lead us to the human realm and those kind of the liberation part of it. But whatever it is, as long as we have these two clingings, clinging to self and clinging to existence, we are cycling in samsara and up and down. It's like a circle, endless circle. So now we see that the root cause to be born in samsara is these two aspects of clingings to self and clingings to existent. So in order to free from suffering of samsara, we have to first remove the root of samsara. So therefore we have to remove the two clingings to self and clingings to existent. So in order to do that, we have to use a proper antidote to destroy these two aspects of clingings. So what would be the most appropriate antidote to them is a selflessness and also emptiness. So understanding on emptiness is the best antidote to destroy these clingings to self and clingings to existent. So self and selflessness are two different phenomena that doesn't stay at the same time in the same spot. So one of them becomes stronger, and the other one, the power that reduces. So now in order to cut the root of samsara, we have to increase or we have to practice on selflessness, which means we have to understand emptiness. So in order to get out of samsara, we have to practice on emptiness, and we have to realize the nature of a phenomena, and realize the nature of mind, and understand emptiness. So this is the method, or this is the antidote to destroy the root of samsara. But even if we manage to free from samsara, still we are not yet enlightened. So we are still in nirvana. So we are missing another part, another practice. So that is compassion. So what we have to have is, in order to achieve enlightenment, we have to have two aspects of a practice. That is practice on emptiness and practice on bodhicitta, practice on compassion. So these two are extremely important, because the realizing and understanding of emptiness would not let fall into samsara. But if we are lack of compassion, we fall into the stage of nirvana, which is not absolutely free from suffering, which is not completely enlightened. So therefore, we have to have a compassion that concerns all other sentient beings. So if we are managing to combine these two together, then it will become the perfect path of liberation, perfect path to achieve enlightenment. So this is what it has been taught in the Heart Sutra.
In this sumba in Bayinde, Tangan of the Sanjay Sumba, Chuchi Pongo, Jeji, Zawa, Newborn Dote, and Shirotumbani town. Tam Injecting, any carches at Manzoji, Sanjay Song, never in Bari. In the day, Mayinde, Tangan of the Namju, and Suzuki, Pecha, Logan Sebaina. Nanjing the Namjin the Kato debut Sebaina, Nanjing the Flag gone not dead. And it's Sakura. Courage Sebaina, the Chutan get the Denver Madobaki, and some of Tumbani data, and this Senji Tangi the Zewaki, and somebody needed. But they need a mother of going. That the Nanzo Kato in Bayana, Chutan, Rabbi Bayana, that's Tungi the Tung data Tanji, Jachimoke, Suzuki, Gom Shin, Jashina Yabodi. Then there's a Maki in Bayana, Chutan data Tanji, Pin and the one you want. Deme Madova, Dama Tungani, son and is it the little son of Tunga take down. And then it's a Tana Yin, it is Senji Yin, Jeta, Helsinki, Senji Yin, they wonder about his Samba. Senji Yin, Donale, and it's a wonder about it. This something then you put some down Kadundaya, Sakura say, the Hana is a gong young say, get you give a courage, say, by but so I hear out there, the day Ninja, and it's a 2 meter of some of them, neither, and it's a mother of it, Nelson Nicola, it didn't happen by
So these two aspects of a practice is mandatory for those who wanted to achieve enlightenment. And it says that practice on perfectional wisdom, and practice on compassion and the loving kindness. These, the two practice, combination of two practices, are the only ones who are fortunate enough to achieve enlightenment. But the rest of them would not get this opportunity. So although Lord Buddha taught 84,000 aspects of teachings, but the key element or essence of 84,000 teachings is consist in this practice on emptiness and the practice on compassion. So these two aspects, and we can apply every practice that we do, whether we are studying or listening, teaching, or we are doing chanting, praying, or meditating. So every practice we do, and we should try to combine these two aspects. Of course, if you are very intelligent, if you have all those opportunity to learn one by one of how all this explanation of the emptiness and interdependence and so on. But at least even if we don't get this opportunity, whenever we do practice, it's important to have concerning about compassion for all sentient beings, and also the view or understanding of emptiness, which means that everything is interdependent, and there's no self, there's no existent. So at least if you are able to combine these two in every practice you do, becomes great. It has a great result.
Nimaki, and logic in the Tadeva in La Goma Doji, La Goma, Niba Deva and Doji. This is not to need the tower down. And it's some Hinji, and you can Yami Meba Imayana. Which is La Goma, the Kashin Doji Imayana, Jewa Samala, Dunde, Nuba Chimbo, Jewa Lansun and Rowan. Yana, Aniji Deneda, Kashi, Denije Gong, Ma Dejita, Tungi, Samutungani, Tungi, the Tawatan, Aniji Samba, the Hinji Mebakuna, Aniji Yan, and Nimado, Nado, the Mikashi Imagine, Sendelayan, the Danze Cheda Sunanda. The Chadam was on us over Numu, Shoki, Sumado, Momodo, Ranzo Chesogan, 20 years. Kashi, Lan, Chumas, Polozon, Chiba Kali is at some Mongolia, Ranzo Cheso. When I did it, Rango Jade, so the town, so between the Chas, Naja, Tadula Soba, Nima Kaliti, Yabayana, Damaji, Dromania. I don't catch into Imaginity. Huge, then a dribble page that Chadam to show chair songs from a casino. But the Karis is two shares now to the 200 Tumbani, some of the Tuniki, Nita Tawada, Mandarwada, and just somebody needed in Yani, but they need some of the home. Then they needed that Manzo, which is Tude, Soto Juga, Rajuki, and Mandarwaki, Nebo, Chama, Topi, Indeed, in my Jackson with the Shina, Jackson with the Machina came and Nando treated that Madaba, Kitan the Tumbani, Kitan the Damabayan, Samaki, Indeed, Samusinanda, Tawasinanda, which is dead. It is simply yin, somebody ningy. Indeed, anything Yami, that ten months with the Namju to give a carriage, Dubai Imayana, which is then the Dharma Soma Imayana. Then also Gaval nor some of the true some of them, true say on my Gaval number of the channel. That is also Michigan. Jachin machine, isn't it a bit Jachin with the here? The Yena, the Jachin with the Mashibi by Yena. What? 200, Tumbani, 200, Namadan, 200, Madabai, 200, Indian Revenue in Samadan, and the Cindy Tanya, the Jimu of the Sambada Hindu Sam. But there's a Shina, anybody. Dinner, Suma, Power the Sima, Sitting the Power the Sangona, Power the Sangona, Tumbani Hapo, Tuniki, Yogo and Ballet. And then that the Shiva Yamin and Deva City, Nekaki, Power the Tabats and the young Shiva Yamin and Devadua. They are managed Ranki, Power the Tabats and the Nekak Tower. But they are managed Hatoki and which is Sanjiko. One talk to your money. The other animal tower saver, somebody hinging you. He don't need the tower and somebody hinging you. Then the Shiva forward the Shivan in the Deva. They need be power the same as Sanjay for one talk to your days. The name is Sanjay for one treat for the JJ. You would there. They don't need the tower down. Just some hinges and do something. Anybody, they do so near.
As a practitioner, it is not only important to combine these two aspects of the practice, but sometimes it can be a problem if you don't have these two. When we look in sometimes past histories, there have many situations where those people who consider as a great practitioner and who encounter with the visualization, reciting mantra, and all those in years, and end up they're born in evil devil spirits and so on, and because of their not having a lack of these two aspects of emptiness and compassion. And also sometimes when you don't have these two, and these certain practices, visualization, reciting mantra, even increase your negative emotions. The same more practice you do becomes more angry or more jealousy, or all these negative emotions are things building by these practices. So that's why it is easy to understand, but it's mandatory to try to cultivate these two aspects in our practice. Of course, if you wanted to learn intellectually, go through this and that, there are so many things to learn about emptiness and compassion and so forth. But at least whatever practice you do, and you should try to combine these two. Even if you do just a small amount of practice, and you should try to cultivate these two, and understanding everything is interdependent, and emptiness, and also compassion. Because these two things, as he explained, the understanding or realization of emptiness is falling into samsara, which means achieve nirvana, but that's still only for self or one individual. So when you generate profound compassion to all sentient beings, then it becomes your practice, becomes the path that liberates you from both samsara and nirvana. So this is what we really should try to do. So Lord Atisha says that wisdom that is absence of compassion or method is not good. The compassion or method that is absence of wisdom is also not good, because these two, both are equally important to achieve enlightenment. So we as a Mahayana practitioners who are seeking for enlightenment and limitless liberation, so we wanted to free from not only samsara but also the so-called nirvana too, because of course we wanted to liberate from samsara, and we wanted to free from all the suffering of samsara. That will happen if we have enough practice on emptiness. But if we don't have enough practice on compassion, then it only becomes ourself. So then it would not be a Mahayana path, Mahayana practice for the limitless liberation. So therefore we wanted to combine these two as two wings in order to reach to our final destination.
다리 공부 시바나지 나서지 라 공부에 이제 꿈도 까마리 사 만용이 되는데서 너나야 개요 말이 또다 추가 자와의 나서 센데 여바이 말이 가도 대중라고 했던 바이바이는 디니 뚱이다 닝게니다 싸움당 되는데서 냐니지 바이바이는 이제 나도 제 나다마다 제 가동 상 맞아서야라고 제가 이만 말이 나도 추가 자와 돼 나도 소소된 센데 바이바이 되는데 이제 나도 이제 되는데 그거기 이거로는 비바이나는다 아우 충정이난다 우리지 나중에 법전다 여바이난다 매바이난다 가난 나서 이제 배워지 되는데 되게 자원다고 돼 이제 다 추단계 대말 말을 거기 동반이 되다 근데 생기는 뭐가 제와는 능력이고 어디 동의는 능력이 소문이고 생기라 야 남주 개와지 좀 갖다 소소게 다 하는 원한이 이제 근데 이제 두바리 말이 나서 이제 두바 정목이 추기 라네 스마일 말이 추지 님목이 이제 되는 소소게 냐네는 뭐 소타바이 말이 어떤 되는 데는 나서 겨와도 남았다 뭐 차가요 여바리 말이
So even we do small practices like reciting Umanipime home, although the recitation of the mantras are very powerful, beneficial, but if we can apply or cultivate these two, compassion and emptiness, into our practice, then it will become much more profound. And we do practices like recitation of mantra, visualization, prostrations, chanting, and also circumambulation, turning the prayer wheels, and counting malas and so forth. So whenever we do these practices, if we are able to combine these two important aspects, then it always becomes path of liberation. So even if you are not correct, I mean, even if you cannot pronounce certain part properly, or even if you miss certain colors of the deity mixed, but as long as if you have these the main aspect, compassion and loving kindness, into your practice, which means that you are catching or you are holding the main, the root of the practice. So therefore, we should try to do, whenever we do practice, whatever practice we do, we should not separate. We should not do practice that absence of this compassion and wisdom. That is the emptiness, and compassion, that is the method. So these combination of these two are always important.
Rinpoche 대 시럽게 받았을 막이 그 공시럽게 시럽게 받았을 막다 그때 마송셔가 산지기 신신도 또다 뭔거여가 말이야 산지기 송기다 보다 자라여 자라도 여가는 망치슈데 근데 시럽게 받았을 막 노를 차려요 말이야 비용 진행 두성나 소바게다 시럽게 받았을 거 너무 뭐도 대다 현재는 능도 나오지 근데 내 마송셔가 이제 시럽게 받았을 막도 대이 말이 숨말 비찬 시럽게 받았을 nimbo세는 되는 숨말.
So the next word is Khenpo in Tibetan, which means heart or essence, because we say heart sutra. So heart of perfectional wisdom. So the reason why it's a heart or essence is because when Buddha taught, and he taught 84,000 teachings, and among all these teachings, he have taught on different aspects of teachings, Vinaya, Sutra, and Abhidharma, and so forth. But the most of his teachings are all about emptiness and selfless and so on. So here in this Heart Sutra, the essence is actually, this is the heart or essence of all these teachings that he taught on emptiness.
대세 때 아니 지금 신도이 말에 그때 신도는 때나 네 시험준 먹기 다 주서 또데 도두가 찍기 네 오토바이 말이지.
So this is the title of the teaching, and through the title we can understand the brief introduction or brief explanation of the Heart Sutra teaching.
네, 다때 자가게 더 방가와데 전에 빠르면 선다야고 지금 다때 레게르게 말에.
So the first line is Sanskrit, the title for the teaching in Sanskrit.
다때 가르스나 또 간지의 종아 이제 산지게 때문에 다 자하고 연 마다요 말이. 근데 이제 이제다 도 사마 긴고라 아니 레게르게 자야데 큐가 폼도 마다 아니 다다는지 삼주다 이제 라 아니 바자요라 소바 부바고 왕기 그게 보르마 까텐요 조이 뭐 찾아서 보라 아니 레게르게 그게 요데 되는 말에.
So the first part is the title in Sanskrit. The reason why it's in Sanskrit is because all those teachings of the Buddha translate into Tibetan from Sanskrit language. So whenever we translate these things and we leave the title of the teaching in Sanskrit itself as well. So there are many reasons to do that, because one of the reason is it's originated from India, so therefore it there's a right word for that, but I don't remember. So anyways, that to shows that how to shows that this is the real teaching that came from India, from Sanskrit. Authentic lies? No. Source. Yeah. To indicate that this is authentic teaching from Sanskrit.
그때 저교연아 보게도 좀 내는 뭐 싫어게 받을 수 있는 거 너무 찍고 그때 저는 뭐 그래서 내는 좀 내는 뭐 싫어게 받을 수 있는 산산으로 스페인 최주세 저는 내게 다 그쪽에 규제나 좀 내는 제가 갖다고 공부를 배우는 게 지금 무슨 계획이 있는지 대체 좀 내는 사문하고 시사를 하는 데는 정말 욕소 양 뭐가 되는 소만 있는 거 다들 다들 시험용 마소만 그런 게 소말에 근데 내 가는 소말에 있는다 제가 다른 사고 공부를 하는 소만 말이지 네 홀 가는 소말에 있으니까 배운 거 변하지 못해 상주 소만 변하지 못해 제가 소만 말이지 소 제대로 소말에 있으니까 상주 좀 내야 아니지 사무통 많이 있는 냐버지야 네 따따나 샤리보다 오늘 포바지는 저기 센질라 같은 이제 센질라 네 샤리보기 저와시 이제는 막 네거서 진행거서는 저와다 진행거서 근데 시험이 뭐 무슨 말이지.
So after the title in Sanskrit, there is a title in Tibetan, and then a homage prayer to perfectional wisdom. So then it explained where this teaching happened and how it happens and who was the receiver of this teaching. So where was the place? The place was in the Vulture's Peak mountain in India. For Arya Sangha and ordinary Sangha, monastic bhikshus and bhikshunis, and how he taught this teaching is while he was meditating on samadhi, blessing or he blessed to Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, and made Shariputra ask Avalokiteshvara questions, and then Avalokiteshvara answers. So this is how this teaching is established. So the Buddha was meditating on emptiness. This is this particular samadhi or concentration meditation called profound appearance. At the same time, Avalokiteshvara was also meditating on selflessness of 5 aggregates. So the power of the meditation, and Shariputra and ask this question to Chinrezig, Avalokiteshvara, in the future, and those who wanted to practice on perfectional wisdom, and how should they do? And then Avalokiteshvara says they should do in this and that way.
And then Chinrezig Sharipura, that Chinrezig my Sharipura Puna. And then Regipon, Regipomokala, Shiraka participant, someone Japan the Bati, another number tower Sades, in the opinion, Shiraka participant, Gongo Grace. Not under the Gongo is a Pomona of Tendala, Rajin Tombayanda for this tower, some Pomona, Zo, Sova, Mushin, number Shiva, Pomona, Yoro, but the three Pomona at that time, the Rajin, Debe Madova, Samutomani, what the
So after Shariputra asked this question, Avalokiteshvara, and Avalokiteshvara says, "Hey Sharipu, and those who wanted to practice on emptiness, and they should do emptiness on selflessness, natural emptiness or natural selflessness of 5 aggregates."
Kumonasina, Zoga Kumbo, Sola Kumbo, Yushija Kumbo, Juzika Kumbo, Navashika Kumbo, and Kumonayo, not the town of Kumona, and Didi. The Tigan and Tamo, Zok Kumbo, Mahibari, and Zokumo, Tumani Zoso, Zoga Tumani Jimaino, Tumani, later Zoji Maino, Sumai.
So then Avalokiteshvara explained one by one on these 5 aggregates how they should meditate, and begin with the form. So we have a form and all those 5 aggregates, and every one of us have these. So Avalokiteshvara says they should meditate on form is emptiness, and emptiness is form, and form is not different from emptiness, and emptiness is not different from form.
The more Rajinji, Maroba, Tumbayanda, but his house. That's in Antamuzoka, Umutin, Zotumani, Sumade. Zop said in Anzo, Mushiki or the Georgia Batama, Mushiki is on the data Zoka, and the Saroki, Radawade, Lana, John Kanchandri, Donna and Anzo, Murky, Kunzabi, or the Joba Sama, and Zops in the Sumi. But a day, Tadam Naranzoki, and it is Zop, Zendi Yoga in Paradise, and Zop said the debate of a in some time. Zop said the debate of a some time. And then it is Zopka Dilata, Zibata, and it is Zop Nzibata. 근데 좀 지민지 간 많이 봐. 딘디도 성공 가는 딘디 조가 덴버 전에 봐. 보다 딘디 이제 조가 덴버 전바 아니 이제 딘디를 띠나 근데 좀 지발라 차. 근데 조 아니 이제 얘도 마음 와는 이제 당 나도 이제 내가 공부지 시단계 근데 다다다 좀 지민지 간 많이 봐는 이제 다다다는 로마티 또 예, 어떤 하나 이게 되게 가도다 나자다. 사실 용 먹었지. 나도 이제 조 덴버 좀 받더니 되게 좋아. 어떤 나도 이제 소주지 오고 지난지 제조지 되게 차게 많이 말해.
So Avalokiteshvara explained how the form is empty. He started with the form. So what is form? And form is actually object of our sense of I. Object of faculty of our sense of I. So anything that is object of I is a form, including all this outer world and houses and everything that you see through your eye, sense of your eye, is form. So when we look at these forms, we see in many different ways. We see all those forms and different forms. So when we see these forms, we actually see only the appearances of the form, and we're not seeing the reality or nature of the form. So when we see the appearances of the form have we categorize actually our mental projection categorized into many different parts: good, neutral, bad. So and then there are good forms or beautiful forms. When we see beautiful forms, our attachment arises. And when we see ugly forms, our hatred and anger arises. When we see a neutral form, our ignorance arises. So this is how we actually dilute on outer appearances. So the reason why these negative emotions arise by seeing form, such as attachment and aversion, is because we are clinging to the form and thinking that it exists the way it appears. So when we are attached I mean, when we think or when we clinging to the form and thinking that it exists, so either it's a beautiful form appears, we attached and we cling as beauty, and when it actually appears, and we actually have this sort of the clinging thought of existence. For example, the flower that is in front of Rinpoche, when you look at the flower has the colors and size and all those things. When we look at these, when we see as a good flower, and we don't know the reality of the flower, the nature of the flower that is interdependent and emptiness, so on, but we immediately catch the mere appearance and think that this exists, and we have a sort of obsession towards it, and then we have ideas that has to be the way the permanently exist. So that's why our anger, hatred or attachment arises. So if we know the nature of the form, it's an emptiness, so we wouldn't have these negative emotions arise. So therefore it says that the form is appearing, but it's not, their nature is not the way how appears. So appearances is a temporary, it's a mental projection, but the nature of the form is completely different.
That's Zotumba saying, Zotumba said, this Zot that I'm Meba Chandu, Kajamari. Anto Tuya Meba, the Nikajamari, Anto Zotuya Yer. The Yenayam, Tumana Yi, Nanto Tata Kari, Demetrobaji, Nanto, now that the Demetrobaji in Zenda, but they did Demetrobaji. Zoparan Rai, more than 2 years. I can't live 2 years in a then Demetrobaji, put in and Jerome Baji Yuka. Thank Mara. Nedote, the Tambo Joda Ki Mambo, kill Teen, the Yason in Baji. And then I need the Juji Mambo, the Teen, the Yan join my Baji. I need to Korando Mochi, Demetrobaji. Tambo need the Juji Temple, not so about Teen and Juma. The need Juji Temple, not so about the Teen and the Tapo, Madame and Jerome the lawyer. And the young Taran is a metal that I can get the Jewa and Gawas in the Mamujan. And this is Zoparanking all the tendons in Jerome, but Demetrobaji Yoma. Then it is Zotumba, said the Nilipo. Young Zotumba is sitting around, so the mother teen is Zotoya Meba. Educate them. Demetrobaji. Then on the Zotumba is Debetumba, Demetrobaji. Then Chui Zoyomas. Then Korangas Haji, and the Tuni is. This Haji to me said, Korangi Chui, Korangas Haji, Tuni is. Then Zok the thing and the run you bodies. Thing and the run you watch in not Dodo, Jerome, Nanzo and Zemanaji, Demetrobaji. What the Trinity you mean? Zotumbo,
so when we say the form is empty, emptiness doesn't mean form disappear. Doesn't mean form you don't see. So when we say it's empty, means it's not exist inherently. Meaning that whatever appearing there as a form is all arise from the certain temporary cause and conditions. So if it truly exists by its own, then it should be there from the beginning, and also it should not change. It should be there forever the way it is. But because it comes from certain cause and conditions, so therefore it arises, and due to certain cause and conditions, it remains for a while, and then due to certain cause and conditions, it ends. So what it means, it's appearances, it's not talking about appearances is not there, but the talking about the nature is not truly exist by its own without depending on any other cause and conditions. So basically it's saying that everything is cause and condition interdependently arises, so therefore it's emptiness. So this is how we have to understand emptiness. So when we see these the form as exist by not knowing the nature, if you really look carefully, it's just like a dream, just like a television. So when you're dreaming, until you wake up, whatever happens in the dream, everything seems real to you. But that's also certain temporary cause and conditions produce that dream. So for you, for your illusion, delusion, thought, delusion mind, it's real until you wake up. And similarly, when you look at the television, you can see so many different things in there. You can see a whole universe in a small box, on a small screen. That's also created by many different causes and conditions. So it's possible. So similarly, all these appearances, particularly form that we see from our eye, are just arises with many different causes and conditions, but their nature is like a nature of a dream, it's like a nature of television. It's not exist, not everlasting, it's all subject to change, and also any cause and conditions could destroy in any time. So from our own experience, of course we do have a situation where certain things are very precious or beautiful to us, and certain things are not that much. But it's all how it can hurt, or how it can how much pain and pleasure it can make in our mind is only depends on how much serious we take it, you know. So certain things, if you take it very seriously, then it hurts more. All those negative emotions easily arises. But if you don't sort of think that as the real or very important, then our negative emotions wouldn't arise that much. So that's why, similarly, the reason why we have to understand the nature of the form as empty is because all those negative emotions arise from the not knowing what is the real nature of the existence. So when Buddha talked about the consequences of attachment to beautiful form, and he used an example of moth. You know moth? The fly? So it's like you're flying, jumping into flames. You understand what I mean? So there's moth. So whenever the moth sees the flame from the bottom light, so immediately just jump into it because he attached to that sort of the light. So as a result, moth dies. So when we attach to the beautiful object, it's almost like that. So because when we are attached to beautiful object, end up doing so many terrible things. So basically here is saying that I forgot the rest part. So the important for us is regardless of when we see the beautiful object or ugly object, we have to have an understanding of the emptiness or selflessness, because all the problems or negative emotions arises based on the strong clinging or attachment towards this beauty or ugly, hatred for the ugly object and the attachment to the beautiful object.
What the name of it? Namen chain, Shemba Chuja Naruba, Setelo, the new Sundo. Then Nanto Zoom Zibala Sobadan, Jan Yimbadan, Treshembadan, and then Rizan Jambala Sobagita, then you get the young Zugato, the young Tipe, the two Chishude, and Nanto, the Yobatan Nanto, Chentoya. Two Chishude. 나눠서 번은 좀로지 이뭐야 차단계야 돼 조금은 이제 조도 대만은 대신 나 쇼케 못이요 차단되는 거 내가 난 이제 딱 조가 저로 잡아서 노용 가리지 있는데 아무도 이제 여과장이 이제 차단하서 밖에 보죠 말 그 체질에 가릴 때는 용어에서 나눠서 이제 된전다 이렇게 될 시험밖에 또 쇼케 못이 게인데 차단계 되는 게 전지의 소소에 지금 용문과 차단계 되는 이제 용문과 차단하서 나도 이제 누구가 지금 동화도刚刚 먹고지려고 예 이제 대다 사막이 자와로지 조치때 이제 소소가 된전기 로그니 말이 그 된전기도 도마세가다 이제 좀라서 봐 수가 들어가서 봐기 내용대로 이제 데미도 또 어떻게 또
So, Tilopa said to Naropa, son, you're not bound with appearances, but you're bound or tied with attachment towards appearances. So, what it's saying is that having appearances there is not the problem. The problem is how we perceive these appearances. So even if there is a beautiful form, beautiful sound, beautiful smell, or ugly, doesn't matter. The having appearances there is not the problem. The problem is how we accept, how we connect to them, and how we encounter with these appearances. So if we have the thought of existent or truly existent idea, this clinging sort of the thinking of not knowing the emptiness and a strong clinging towards existence of these appearances are the problem.
When Miki Nanzo Nomba Namjo Malefati being by Marina, Mikashi by Namsan and the Kumboji. That is in deep horror of Jita, Zook Namjo Tete Nanzo Yet Yambajin Tongue, Del Hajan Nanzo Sangi, not Topase, or Shembaji, there is a Denzeno Topaji, Hongolango. Horrible Namjo Tete Nanzo, Duma Namjo Malafa, Tete Mayna, Nan Tete and Zimba Mazeba, Nanzo Chadan or Jeton. Didn't so there is a Zook. Tumbaris. Yanis about the capsula, Nanzo Soji, than the Zone Ziba and Ziba. Tagana Yiki Job, Horrible young Tin and Bado, loving my Marina, Nanzo Kashi, Lazan, the Kungoje, Kashi, and the Kungoje to your money. There is in the Nanzo Dratted, Shimba Chimbuji Jana, and then Zimba Chimbuji, then you will give my Marina. That it's in what the sort of the living Marina, Kungoje. What a day and it's in Nepal, so what is the way Marina? Dratted up and get Tumbanis, Zokumbanis, which is Zugatera, Matabaris, Territin, Zimba Nanzo, which is Shimba Machevi Marina. Say Nibashi, Tezan, Lanza, Najaji, and the Balasuba Sayan, Mebala Soba Seva Marina, Lanzan is what they are, Kungo Lango and Rotan, the Nibro. Rana eat Zone Ziba Tong, the Lanzan, the Chan, Rotan, Zoti Maziba Tong, the Lanzan, the Kungo Jen and Yo. So they Nanzo Denzen Pitoba, which is Shemba and Zimba Testing, Chadan Roki. The Nidja in Yogan, then not do not Jujurba, membership of Toza in Sundo. So Gaza and Zuka Taro the Zamaris, Rimano. So Ranju, they yield a lot of mountains. What a new song, then Zukumanis, the Tana, the Jatumani, Jatumani, Rotumani, the Zatumani, the way you did not put some managing from the Rangi to me in Balan, the Tumi, so you might buy it, the Nidja might answer the way you did that and the Denver Mother Bachi. Madava in Bachi, 어제 이 노용라 소바테다 단계 그런 걸 라기 이제 동이 뭐지 어떻게 시고 그래 순간.
For example, when somebody look at you in a weird sort of way, sometimes some people take it very serious, and the people who are sensitive, they take it very serious, and then the negative reactions arises. And some people, they just sort of kind of manage to ignore. So between these two individuals, in their mind, there's a big difference. One who can really ignore and avoid these, have not much sort of strong feeling or hurt or upset, but other person who take that as a very serious, should probably have a big upset and angry in their mind. So similarly, when we see form, when we hear sound, for example, when somebody tells you something good or bad, if you, those who have no sort of strong clinging to for your praise and your I don't know, complaints and those, and when these people don't have that much strong obsession, attachment to these things, they can really avoid easily. But then people who don't have that ability, and then it makes big problem in their mind. So we can relate these form, sound, smell, taste. But as long as you have a basic understanding of whatever happens there, and all those appearances arising in the different ways, but their nature is empty, not inherently exist, and all subject to change, all temporary cause and conditions created, then we wouldn't have that much pain in our mind.
tumbaji zokso sumbari tate sonde ta zok koran ranjin chi demba maroba tumbaji zokso sonde ta tada nanzo zok pe koran ranjin chi demba maroba chanyan zok tumba ta yang nanzo zok nang dewa ta wana zok tuni yena kandewe nang yodisina tuni yinba ki jumsen ki tenje juji demba nang soba tina zog de tani nang de yode tindi je yima yinde tumba ni zog so na tindi so yode tindi je yima yinde zog koran tuni koran ne tuni zog na wa sin tindi je yinde zog te tumba ni te ne song de yu ba ji ko oye de na zo de na dong song de yu ba sin na zo na wa ta de me ma do ba yima re tindi ke chan tuni yima re oda tindi tuni te ni je te je never yu ma ki zog sa na de ba yima re.
So it says form is emptiness. That means the nature of the form is empty, not exist. In the next sentence it says emptiness. Emptiness is form. So it means that emptiness doesn't mean nothing. Emptiness has to have a something. So emptiness have to have some sort of appearances that can be empty. So the quality or description of emptiness is the appearances and interdependent, and the nature of form or nature of appearances is empty. So this tells that emptiness and appearances are inseparable. So these two cannot have one without another.
얘는 이제 뚱이 얘는 그렇게 만한 건 나는다 서로 그 요정당 이제 다 내가 나 소바게 만나 소바게 나는 소바 샤르는 거 되게 이마인데 뜻동이 말함세요. 대라오기 나한테도 되게 좋다. 이제 내면 말로 봤더니 뜻동이 지리양 쨍 매바지 이렇게 보전 통제 매바 되게 많이 봐. 아니 이제 띵견들와요 용어기 이제 주지만 저거 누르는데 이제 저거 소바나 소바진 나한테도 되게 난도 용어지 되게 이마인데 이제 나도 zon도 juga saya ini tenjong betung bani so jadi sumai mari zoto mau tu bani zosos.
So for example, when we are dreaming, we can dream all kind of things, but the dream is not real, not exist. It's empty, emptiness. It is emptiness, yet it can have all sort of appearances for your dreamer's perspective. It can have anything. It can have the whole world there. So similarly, everything, all the appearances here, appearing, but their nature is empty. It is empty, emptiness. So therefore, it has all sort of appearances. So sometimes people think that emptiness means nothing. There's no form, no sound, no smell, no taste. But that's not true. Emptiness have to have appearances that can be emptiness. So therefore, we have a word saying that Nangtong Sungju, which means inseparable of appearances and emptiness.
Zoga tumbani jimani, tumba lejen zo jimani no sumare. Daya nanzo nanju nanzo lomo ke karayo. Then zo tumiri se ta tumbani se ta nanzo nangdewa ki chu dele losu joba chike yang tumi je nanzo toza yesari somo je tenide somo to pendes. Ta kare sumo yose. Zogle tumbani jim jimani no se when zog tumi se ate zog yin de joba ki zog tumbani se ate ta khale yo maris. 다 원어 조그 뚱이 세라 다리서는 조 코랑네 데베 마도가 뭐다 지그 차로 조 뚱마 지금 세이스 근데 조그 뚱만 지만 있는 아 뚱만 니래 조 이만 있는 시도 양 뚱이 세인데 야 아니지 뚱이래 로즈 저밖에 양 조그 여봐 네 요. 나도 이제 다다 제번한 얘기 아니지 내가다 누가 저러러 가서 나와 가래도 이만 있나요? 어찌 띵된 저런 용어인 봐. 뚱이이바 띵종이바 그 준세이 그 나서 나와나 수바 샤더로마 근데 제 나와나 수바 제 접더로마 근데 제 이거 되게 이마 있는 뚱가베자 조기 많이 나오서 어떻게 좀 말해.
So here the next sentence says emptiness is no different from form, which means sometimes when we say emptiness emptiness of a form, so we think that the form that appears there is one thing, but then there is another form that is empty. So beside the form that is appearing there, so in order to correct that understanding, it says form is not, emptiness is not different from form, means form and emptiness are same. So emptiness is actually the quality of the form. It's a description of the form is emptiness. So in the next line it says the form, there is no form that is free from emptiness. So it tells that in order to be empty, it has to be form. In order to be form, it has to be empty. So emptiness and form has to be really inseparable. So without emptiness, form cannot arise. That is absolutely free or different from emptiness. And then there is no emptiness, empty of a form that is completely different from the form that is appearing there.
대제는 소화단도 시단도 리는 나바시바는 동바고 숨말에 나 조동바고 동바니 조조 동바니 예만이 동바레제 조이나 많이 나오 숨만이 나도 그 조를 공부 서로 공부인 말이나 좁아인 말이 서로 대화다 동하다는 이제 서로 다는 거 이 말이나요 이제 동반이 근데 동이 거란 서로 서로래 동반이 이만 동반에 서로가 이만이 나온 순간 사무직 근데 서로래 이 말에 대신에 시적 공부 두리적 공부 나버시 받는데 동말에 동일이 뭐다 되는 순간
So then these method of describing the form emptiness, and we can apply that same to all the rest of four aggregates of mental formation, consciousness, and so on. So you can actually use the same technique to understand all these aggregates.
정말 샤리고 대다면은 취단에 동가 니데 정말에 샤리고 정말 거기는 있구나. 근데 정말 샤리고 대다면은 준시 풍부나 이제 대면마로 동가 니 이마기 준시 디스나 근데 본대에 그 뒤바기 취대다 단데 근데 라인제 마로 동가 니 정말.
So then after Avalokiteshvara explained the five aggregates as emptiness, and then he said, Sharipu, because of that reason, all the phenomena are empty. So therefore, all the phenomena have no characteristic, they never arise, there's no end, no defilement, there's no even free from defilement.
스님이 그 마지바 망가버 순간에 그는 취대다 단지 어느 저 뭐, 그랑이 대배 조바 매바 이마인데 스님이 봤어. 그는 마지바서 대배 조바기 제와요 말이지. 대배 조바기 제와 매바 이마인데 땅가 봐요 말이지. 근데 뭐 대배 조바 그는 이제 랑인지 그는 이제 마지바로 망가버 이마에 순간.
So there's no definition or no characteristic for any of these aggregates. It's because the none of them never exist. They are all interdependently arises. They are all selflessness. So therefore, there's no characteristic. Because they are not exist, there's nothing to arise or nothing to be born. Because there's nothing to be born, there's no end.
근데 이제 너무 마지바 세는데 나다다 제단은 이제 취대다 단데 때는 이제 제하면 봐 그게 이제 니나는 마지바 세는데 이제 레벨 조박이 제와요 말이지. 근데 진짜 내도 나오지나 그때 주지나 소바지 때문에나 소바도 뛰네야. 근데 이제 제마 마도 바기 내도 거라는 이제 딱 속도 라이 레벨 조박이 제와도 근데 이제 땡종 기제와 모두 거기 대외적으로 기제와요 말이지. 근데 땡종 기제와서 이제 그 대외마로 거기 주제로 그 주진나 소바지 냠는 점도 근데 이제 다 양매도 이제 어떻게 종이 요지 모두 거기 이제 매도 그런 담보는 이제 도도 지단 대외적으로 지단 결함을 같이 기제와도 근데 담보 제와면 봐. 이 전임에 봤을 때 발전 내바기 뭐게 대외적으로 봐. 다음에 달 가고 매봤을 때 이제 대배 쪽은 가고 요 말이지. 취대다 단계 담보에 제와 매봐. 말든 내봐 매봐. 탄 가고 매봐. 생각을 되게 som요.
So when we say no beginning or no arising or no birth, doesn't mean it doesn't have a beginning and end. Conventionally, a relative point of view, there is beginning and end. Arising, but the reason why it says there's no born or no beginning, there is no beginning, there's no truly beginning, truly existent beginning, because all those arise from many causes and conditions. And then eventually it happened the way it is. But it is, if it's truly exist, arising, it's truly exist, it should just appear without any other cause and conditions, and also it should remain forever. So because there's no truly arise, there's no truly end. Meaning arising is also due to cause and conditions interdependently, and also ending is due to cause and conditions interdependently.
Today, my tengen renjong mani be chunga yoga mani no te satuni mani be chunga yoga mani no suma mani ni chu de da tam tengen derwan yong ane ma tu ba chunga ya yoga mani tene gang ni je tenjong yin ba yin na ni je da nembe chu ba ne ba ki ni je dendo ko tong ba chung yi yin ba ke chap de yo is tene ni je da chu tam tenjong yin ba ke ju sin na ti na ni je da tong yi yin ba da tene suma yo ni na ne jenga me ba se ya de ni je tenjong ko ko tenjong ki jewa tanga kwa zang yo de ta tenjong ki jenga yinba yin na ta tenjong ki jenga ma yinba ke chap de yoga yinba de ko ta teni suma yinba de.
So Nagarjuna also said that there's no phenomena that is not interdependent. So therefore there's no phenomena that is not empty. So which means that all the phenomena that is seemingly exist, they all arise from cause and conditions. They all arise interdependently. So therefore, there's no single phenomena that is without interdependent. Because everything is interdependent, everything is emptiness. So therefore, there's no phenomena that is not empty, because there's no phenomena that is not interdependently arises. So these logic we can use here when we say there's no arise and no end. We're not saying there's interdependently arise is not there, but interdependently arise is there as a relative point of view. And therefore there's interdependently ending is there as a relative point of view as well. But there's no truly arising and truly ending.
Drama member, drama member, Kama member, but then two times million level. Yen at the ownership of Nanjiki, Chuni Tejinilla, Tata Yumala Sobaki, Jamaya Yomaris, Jamada Jawaya Yomaris, the Nicholas of Amani, Jawaya Yomaris, and then also got for Jawaya Yomaris, and Tata de Yamakanan, and the Sasa Jam, Yawasa, Junzani, Yanda, 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 to the number two Sumanajika, Dona Din and Kalevi Sumayos, Hunde the Buga of Chute at Hangi, and that than the damage by your mind, Tuni or Yumaris. And the young Indian Deva Chute at the current Rangi Dela, and the Yumbala Suba, Hapaya Yomari, so you did Joya Yomari, current Rangi Dela, and the Yen and the Chuni, the Mini, some of them by what? Then it is on the song.
So here's also there's no smell and no smellless, and also no abundant and no achievement. So meaning that the nature of every phenomena is perfectional wisdom, luminosity, clarity, so never diluted from the beginning. So therefore, never defiled. There's no defilement. And also because the never defilement, there were never diluted. There's also no free from defilement. So all those, the nature of the perfectional wisdom or perfectional essence are perfect beginningless time. So therefore, there's no such a thing that need to be abandoned. There's no such a thing that need to be established or accomplished.
Shariba data when a Tonga Nila, Chita Yaganela, Zomi, Torami, Dushimi, Duzibi, number Shibami, Maumi, Nawami, Nami, Jamie, Lumi, Yemi, Zomi, Jami, Jami, Romi, Joseph, Chimito, Maga Kameva, Yita Kami, Yita number Shiba Kami, Bata, Mito, Maraba Seban, Gashi, Bata, Mito. Legendo, don't know what the Queen Yoman, Bobat and Lami, Shibi, Toba, Matoba, and Mido, so what the Temusuna. But then the Tampo Zone, other than the Ananzo Kumona, 김치 중이 간접이 넌 데메지라 소가 너는 이제 건데기 취되다 단계가 데메트가 요마리 손에 들이 순간에 근데 되는 좀이 세한테 고안이 되고 있는데 다 좀이 세 다다 공시가 나는 좀이 초라미 세인데 내 조트로라 소가 뛰는 나서 통양에 받아 소화됐지 인용양에 봐 아니 잡혀양에 봐 되게 말이 그때 가능성이 요리데 조가 초라는 시라소가 데메트가 요마리 소가 되는 소리인데 데베 조금 매빠서 맞아 아니 조초한 힘들이라서 받대라 단지 그런데 내 철도 왕도 세바 이바이나 뚱이리 있다 뚱이데 이름이 주변 탄탄게를 들어와서 나도 지금 꾸마서 되는 시에요 그것도 되는 거 보여요 세고 된지 세도 다 좀네 지금 자리인데 산이니 산제기 살기 이제 되는 또 쩌다는 게 발라서 가기 산제기 인데 너는 본래그 뒤가 붙이대다 단지 이제 대면 말로가 이제 되는데다 랭긴데 동일이 성것도 되면 마송이네.
So then Avalokiteshvara said, Sharipu, therefore there's no form, no feeling, no mental formation, no action, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no feeling, no phenomena. So when he said that, it doesn't mean there's no appearances of these things, but it explaining what is the reality, what is the nature of all these things are seemingly appear. So the nature is empty, the nature is interdependent. So that's why it says there's no.
샤르고 대다면은 사주소만은 두번에서 샤르도 파르데스 마사문더라 이인데 상을 들어가면 조금씩 신경을 내는 명예는 대로 다시는 말이 대다 공부시에 받기니 상주소만은 샤르도 파르데스 마사무동만 인더라 때마이마이나 그니스는 잡아면 봐 아니 다 신경을 내는 명예는 대로 다시는 소고 드릴 수 말이야.
So he said basically there's nothing including 5 aggregates, 18 senses, 12 arising and continual actions. And also there's no ignorance, no absence of ignorance, no birth, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation, no path, no wisdom, no achievement, no not achievement. Shariputra.
düzonun namajı vasanı geride borası mandala tena namajı yanda bozu sanı bunu bozu sange suksunga vakate sungabe nebada maungwada dada da juga ki sanje tanje je gane sene sange barisina shirabye pardesema samotomani ndada tina nda nyamso namana tina lana meba yanda bozu sange bunu bozu sange so setini sungabe.
So next it says all the Buddhas of the past and present and future achieve enlightenment through practice on this perfectional wisdom.
된지가 답대로 쭉 생각되는 소리예요. 대 난생도 가려면 간지스 마주 거리스는 다 나라서 이제 저러고 그거는 막 타바라고 뛰어가나 뛰어야 한다. 나 오늘 가는 쭉 거리스는 다음에 또 가기 사모동만이 그때 냠서 된 바를 때는 난생다 된데나 소가 막 빵도 와. 나 쭉세야 다 빵와 됐잖아 이거. 난생 막 또봐 빵 난생 내 봤어요. 어떻게 내 봤어요. 다 사모동만 데니데니 메인데 디나는 소문데 그러나 두섬지 산지대가 단계장 실업적 발생은 더더 떼인는데 산지적 뭐 토고는 있습니다. 근데 이제 나눠서 이제 쭉 나는 영체무 시라게 받을 수마서도 시라게 받을 수마다 영체무는 아마스는 영체무 가래서 영체무 자로 열지는 어다 배는 나눠서 미제 임바이나 아마는 되는 맞게 건가. 그러나 이 산지에다 산주스마데다 단지자 사모 동반이 또 봐도 되는 산지에다 산주스마도 공항문도 쓰이고 공항도 뭐 쓰이고 임바이나 그치 딘지기 차네 근데 이제 다다니 사모동반이 염치무시 디 가레스 염시나 데세 파바기 산게다 산주스마 되다 동이 또바 디나 근데 야 가레스 나서 아마레 포지원나지 근데 동이 냠서당 또바 디나 근데 이제 산게다 산주스마 공마들이 토보여리 소고 들을송한데 다이 공도 이렇게 벌도 선바세야다 염체모세야다 그다 동주관이고
So here you have many of you practice the Chö practice. So the main view or the main essence of the Chö practice is this the perfectional wisdom what we have just discussed here. So the Chö in Tibetan Chö means cut. So what you have to be cutting by practicing Chu is you have to cut your ego, egocentric, ego clinging. So we cannot bring a knife to cut our ego, but we have to cut our ego by practice on perfectional wisdom. That is practice on emptiness. So in Chu practice we have the great mother, the Parjinaparimita, in Sanskrit we call great mother. So the reason why it called great mother is because all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times achieved their realization by practicing on perfectional wisdom. So without practice on perfectional wisdom, it's impossible to achieve ultimate realization. It is impossible to become Buddha, impossible to become Bodhisattva. So therefore, it's a great mother of all the enlightened beings. So we, as an ordinary being, we all coming from our mother. So the perfectional wisdom or Parjinaparimita or Chö practice is the source of all the realizations.
간의 성계시는 나눠서 토로와 되네. 남분에 소나다 교란다서 발란데네. 토로와 되네 되네. 남르베 야 줌나. 성계 바로로 성계시. 다 바로 가와는 로고예요. 있으나 부디 있어야다. 부디 있어야는 보다 그렇게 되라고 산지가 성계시. 어떤 되는 성이요. 다 대가리시는 다다 나눠서 바라가데 있어야 된다더니도 오늘 바라 바람가데 있어야 어떻게 되는 순간 바람가데 되는 순간 그래서 시간이 비슷하게 소소문제로 되는 제로 벌어지는 상황 나와서 되는 좀 되는 선수로서 뭐가지는 저원서 외소 시사와서는 외소에서 외비고 대대기나 대대기는 대대기 때문에 제렇게 벌어지는 상황 기와서 위에와는 기저에는 좀 내는 게 되게 똑같은 체대는 시간도 되고 선수가 게임에서 와서도 관계도 되는 것도 봐도 남아있는
So this one is the mantra. This mantra includes essence, meaning of perfectional wisdom. So it says Tiyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. So basically the meaning of this mantra is saying go beyond completely. So means go, where do you have to go from to where? We have to go from samsara to achieve enlightenment. So we have to get out from samsara by practicing these 5 paths and so forth. So bodhi, Rasangati bodhi soha means go beyond samsara, beyond nirvana, go all the way to state of omniscient. So this is the essence of the mantra.
What are the Nandona Matilon British? That's how I married. And that the Nando to condone the Jesuit Sota, and so the devotee issue to buy married. And that Nando, and that two jobs he did, and that Duzato then Nando, forward the Tana, I don't know this 100 of what do I marry. But Dindila, Nanzo, two, and the Seti Lega Ibamare, Nanzo, that you are Momo, Mountain, and Dindila. What it didn't go to buy Mari, children, but those 100 of Mato Padala, Nanzo, Namjo, Mari, then the Nanzo, Juza, only years at all, and Taba, Sanji Koma, what a delivery. That delivery, Nanzo, Telecom Shiva Nangi, Samatumani, Tawa, something you could give up. What is doing in the song to you was in Yanni, Sanji, Numerology, and the charter about it.
So here we complete the brief explanation on Heart Sutra. So we didn't have much time, so therefore we had to speed up a little bit. But nevertheless, we are all here to practice the Dharma. And our aim of practicing Dharma is to achieve enlightenment, to free from samsara. So this is long journey. So this is not only one lifetime project, but this is a many lifetime project from now until reach enlightenment. So therefore we should take such sort of commitment to practice the Dhamma. And as Rinpoche mentioned earlier, that to practice the Dharma, particularly to be a Mahayana practitioner, it is very important to combine these two important aspects of the practice, that of wisdom and compassion. So as long as we have these things along with our practice, then everything would achieve accordingly.
Shiraji Pardisman, Doima in Sanjita, or the Mambogan, Jachimus and the Niveson by Mare, Nando, young Jane, Dusona Sovata, Mambuji Yogi by Mare. The dinner Shiram was in a teda, and Shiram Mote, and the Shiraji Pardisman Bakando, that and the Nendo, Yumono, so Dushabaki, Nijan, Teda, and Shiram was at the Nijin by the Jedan Shiraji Pardisman Bakando, the Jachimo. And there's a Tumi said that there's a boy and call a corner way by money. The Yena, Anzu, Kana Kansanji, also by Yam, there's so send Dylan Yami, Zotomaya, Antam was the same model by Mali, Anzu, Samatumani said, Chutam Jim Madawa, your mother, Chutam, the damage of Omega, there's a sheet of Bayana, it must send the Toa, the true lion, it is also the Nati Chadam Musoma Soba Numo Batam, Nati Numona Dinic, Samaji Bata, Duma Momo, Sandwich Mamdano, Sampi, Doma, Mambuji, and never Chadwa, but then Chutan Mataba, the Tuni, Shiva in the same digital Suzo, the Chia, the Jibojan to a Jeta. I did the Nilatin, and Yamiko on the Seba in Bayana, Pajan Kachimo in Bade. But indeed, that's a Jachimuchi, Mashibi Mayana, Ananzu, Samotumani, Kitum, the Tangi, the Trizan said to Bayana, Kim Sun in the Japanese by Mari. The Maya Levaki, almost Jibabana, Sondo. Tsulnam chung chunda tesom tsamyang mazate, tesom tsamyang sawe na sipa shurbo shibar songi bani bari. De sungyo kare songi yosina, dati di chu droba ki Tsulnam kumeba ka ganza teda tamdi ki chu teda tamdi ta tungi imba ka donjor ka tesom tsamyang je tuwe yo maisi, Tsulnam meba ki midaso. Ta donjor ka tesom tsamyang chu tamdi tungi yena mena, chu tamdi tungi yena chishi samba samba tesom je tuwe maisi, Tsulnam meba. 어제 가게 나는 소지 근데 던ጆ르 그 태som점이 제 도바 임바이나야 그게 무슨 거서 나 친구 싸 뒤 바캬도 다다죠 근데 제가 스마는 이제 사모동가이 기 이제 뒤 바캬게 지나 체인데 이 사모도서 근데 야 지나 체인데 근데 동이기 개비신이다 이제 동이기다 다다 냥이 진리다 죄가 제와의 뒤는 근데 이제 시각하는 코라데 다다는 이제 막 이제 수고로 제가 이제 딱뭐 된점 매반도 코라마 빠만 이제 다 내원다고 근데 뒤에 차도를 시 이제 이제 돈이 추가게 경제 정책이 무슨 요구인 거죠.
So
then 딱 뭔가 나도 이제 딱 실험 연구가 사모동반이 차상지 시험 시험하고 그래. 얘는 추대다 단지 네가 나는 동반이 송샤스 아 근데 또 이제 얘나 치시 삼바하고 진짜 그 대성지 제도가 임바이나 근데 그 개버 상호 박하게 나눠서 단다 요 도가 임바이나 부이지가 되나 근데 제가 스마를 나눠서 이제 코로아데 지고 또 내가 아니 이제 막 다른 나눠서 코로아가 무슨 거 이제 단전의 단전의 막 담나 코로아데 또그 된바게 나눠서 코로아데 되게 근데 마음과는 코로아데 마음을 세바다 수고 시고라고 지기 이제 상호 박하게 다른 요 도가 있어 대단한 얘기 이게 또 유튜브가 내용 너무 지속이 많이 말해. 되게 이면은 나는 저기 대장지 대장지 고토가 있느냐 이제 그 너무 많이 말했어.
Generally, Lord Buddha taught many different teachings, particularly on perfectional wisdom, and he taught so many volumes and volumes of perfectional wisdom. So altogether 18 or 19 volumes of the perfectional wisdom teachings. But in this Heart Sutra is consists all the important essence, all the important meaning of these teachings. So this is perfectional wisdom teachings. So when we generally our aim is to achieve enlightenment, to free from suffering, and to learn this emptiness. And of course, it is very somehow it's not easy. It has lots of steps to educate, to learn, to get all the knowledge about emptiness. But even if we cannot do all this, it's very important to try to learn as much as possible. So every action of listening and contemplating on these teachings are also accumulating merit for our goal, our achievement, and not only for our ultimate goal, but also if one can cultivate these the important essence of these teachings, such as impermanent and emptiness, not existing things. This will actually help us in our mundane present life to blocking our negative emotions arises. That gives all those negative emotions gives so much pain, unpleasant, stress and depression, all those things. So by having some understanding of emptiness would actually benefit a lot.
Yes.
I forgot. So it is very important for all of us to try our best to do listening, contemplating, and meditate on teachings of Dharma as much as possible. Even though if we cannot accomplish so much in this lifetime, but it will benefit for our future lifetimes. And Sajja Pandita says that even if you are going to die tomorrow, you should still continue your education. If you learn now, even if you die tomorrow, and then you can benefit next life. It's like you're asking your belonging to ask your friends to hold for you. You know, when you need it, you can ask to return. So therefore, it is very important to try to listening, contemplating, and meditate on teachings of Dharma. So this complete our teaching today. Question? Okay.
I'm just wondering, in light of this teaching, how we can come to terms with violence and war. In light of this teaching, how can we come to terms with violence and war? Right, how can we
So one way is we should spread the teaching of the compassion and loving kindness to as many people as possible. It cannot happen right away, but it's a slow process. So we should try to advise or try to share all these important aspects of the teachings slowly. So this is how actually can work and become peace, you know. So it has to start from one person. Harmony has to start one person. World peace has to start individual. You know, it cannot happen in one day. So it takes time, but as long as if you have that motivation, it somehow it benefits. So that's one way. Another way is we practice ourselves. Practice involve cultivating this loving kindness and compassion with the wisdom, and then we pray for all those who are experiencing suffering, war, terrorism, all those, in order to, you know, free from these difficulties.
Something about how practitioners work with chanting the mantra practice.
Generally, it depends what kind of mantra you are reciting, because every mantra has its own sadhana, its explanation, and how you should visualize, you know, what you should think, and all these steps and proper instructions along with every deity mantra. But generally, as Rinpoche mentioned earlier, even if you don't know these stages or proper ways of visualizing things, as long as if you can combine the two important aspects, compassion and wisdom, into your recitation of mantra, it still you have a lot of benefit. But if you are absent of these two important aspects, then even if you are doing correctly all these ritual ceremonies and the visualizations, still you never know how far you are.
먹을지 지고서 근데 이제 내 준비도 있지 근데 이제 너가 라산 남다 산장하세 다 근데 이제 상황 좋거든 근데 이제 너만들 이제 남주인은 나는 자자 보여야 이제 너가 가도 나서 봐 가인 무인당 차단도 왕도 마찬가지 근데 이제 이거를 점으로 생기게 지세 와르는 이제 따따다 대바당 이제 마연과 산재직 과거는 이제 되는 힘마다 요거 하나 세야 개우는 아무도 이제 이 등반에다 이제 힘바사야를 기체주로 저 차이지.
So Rinpoche explained earlier about the recitation of a mantra. Generally, it is very important to have a genuine devotion, genuine renunciation, and also genuine dedication. So when we do these mantras, it is very important to have a pure motivation, pure intention. And if your practice or recitation is mixed with negative thought, negative intention, so then it's not good. So as long as if you have awareness or concentrate on whatever you are doing, followed by the pure motivation, pure intention, with the genuine dedication, genuine devotion to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, genuine renunciation, which means wanting to free from suffering and wanting to achieve enlightenment, having a genuine sense of compassion and loving kindness for all sentient beings. So if you have these important things, then your practice will be appropriate. For example, in our tradition in Tibet, we have many practitioners who doesn't have much intellectual knowledge of visualization and the meditation steps and the techniques, but many of them practice it out of tremendous genuine compassion, motivation, with genuine devotion to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, completely accepting or believe in karmic cause and effect. So those practitioners, as a result, when they pass away, many of them, in fact, sitting on a meditation posture when they pass away. So the most important thing when we do practice is having a devotion to our refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and accepting the karmic cause and effect, and not carried by wrong motivation. That is very bad. If you have a wrong motivation, then all ruins all your practices.
Thank you.